Welcome to Vedic Mathematics Syllabus Deliberation session. In this session, we shall be deliberating upon the postgraduate Vedic Mathematics exposure and challenge for the mathematics graduates. The focus of attention, the center of exposure at the postgraduate level is going to be Rigved Satta Mulay, transcendental values spreadsheet of Rigved Samhita. Sakal Rigved Samhita is the source scripture. This scripture has reached us intact from its first syllable to its last syllable. This scripture is of 4,32,000 syllables range. The organization of this scripture is of transcendental format. As such, the center of attention at the postgraduate level for the Vedic mathematics students is going to be the spreadsheet of values of Rigved. As such, we shall have a sequential visit to the organization of the Vedic knowledge. It is a Rik, Yajur, Sam and Athar, quadruple sequential progression steps of the organization of Vedic knowledge, which deserve to be absorbed at the initiation stage itself, as Rik is to unfold as Yaju, and Yaju is to unfold as Sam, and Sam is to unfold as an Athar. These quadruple formulations, Rik, Yajur, Sam and Athar, as are tabulated in this sheet, or lead to transcendental code values 5, 11, 15 and 17. It is this TCV values range of these quadruple coordination steps of organization of Vedic knowledge which provide us the initiation lead for having comprehension and imbibing of this range of knowledge. Therefore, this first feature of quadruple values 5, 11, 15 and 17 be taken as the first initiation lead. Value 5 is parallel to a 5-space. Value 11 is parallel to 11 geometry's range of 5-space. Value 15 is parallel to the solid dimensional frame of 5 solid dimensions of 5-space. Value 17 is the value parallel to the northern hemisphere. The solar universe is a synthetic setup of a pair of hemispheres, northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. It is northern hemisphere which is of value 17, and value 17 pairs with value 15 as dimension and domain organization format. 15 as dimension leads to 17 as domain. As such, this lead is a prime lead, and it is in terms of this lead we will be initiating ourselves to reach at the spreadsheet of transcendental values of this organization. A step ahead, the second quadruple formulation setup, Rigved, Yajurved, Samved and Atharved, leads us to quadruple TCV values 27, 31, 35 and 37. Value 27 is 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. It is 3 raised to power 3. Therefore, it is re-solidification of the solid dimension. It is a setup of triple solid dimensions which lead to value 27. Value 31 is parallel to the synthesis of a pair of transcendence ranges of linear order. Value 35 is the value of 5 cross 7 grid accommodating all the 35 double-digit numbers of 6-place values system. And value 37 is parallel to 27 versions of hypercube 18, while 18 itself is the summation value of the quadruple manifestation folds 3, 4, 5, 6 of hypercube 5. One may have a pause here and take note that value 37 is the TCV value of Shri Bhagwan. It is this formulation, designation and format in terms of which the divine song of Srimad Bhagavad Gita has participation and enlightenment flowing from Lord Krishna, the incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, the first lead of quadruple values 5, 11, 15, 17, together with the second lead quadruple values 27, 31, 35, and 37, supplements the initiation in terms of the first quadruple values. The third lead is in terms of the branches of Rigved, Yajurved, Samved and Atharved. Rigved has 21 branches, Yajurved has 101 branches, Samved has 1000 branches, and Atharved has 9 branches. These quadruple values, as is indicated in the third column, value 21 is 10 plus 1 plus 10, value 101 is 10 cross 10 plus 1 cross 1, value 1000 is 10 cross 10 cross 10, and value 9 is 10 minus 1 is an organization format of the pair of values 10 and 01, which is a reflection pair. It is this reflection pairing of value 1 with value 10 on the format of the double-digit numbers of 10-place value system, which ultimately gives us a very big lead to have initiation for being face to face with the transcendental values spreadsheet. The entire range of values of Sakal Rigved Samhita, the source Rigved Samhita, is of a special format. Rig initially as value 5 is a pankti, is a row, a 5 steps range. It is a transcendence range. Its simple rendering is a line, rekha. Therefore, this initiation of Rik as a line and its unfolding as a surface is the feature which is to be the lead which is available and which is inherently preserved in these initiation formulations Rik, Yajur, Sam, Athar, Rigved, Yajurved, Samved, Atharved. As such, the postgraduate Vedic mathematics students in the background of their graduation level mathematical mind developed on the sound foundation of sequential learning of steps of 3 space, 4 space, 5 space and 6 space setups is going to be the expansion reach of the at the postgraduate level. The lead up till this stage be taken as that it is a flow, a linear flow of 5 steps long, which unfolds itself as a surface. So it is from a linear progression to the spatial progression, which is to provide us, which is to accommodate the whole range of the transcendental values. It is this feature which brings to focus the value 2. Value 2 is unique value as much as that it is the only even prime. It is the first prime and it is the only even prime. It is this feature of value 2 parallel to which is the geometric format of 2 space of hypercube 2. It is the surface. Therefore, the surface is being utilized, is being availed as it is potent enough to accommodate the whole range of transcendental values as value 2, as 2 space, as a surface, as a spatial order. The initiation for having transcendence within transcendental domain, within this space, within this Akash Tattva. The beginning is to be with value 2, and 2 as 2 space leads us to 5 geometries, and 5 space leads us to 11 geometries. 11 space leads us to 23 geometries, and 23 space leads us to 47 geometries. It would be blissful to take note that value 2 and parallel to it 2 space is the only value which is unfolding itself from within of 5 steps range. These 5 steps range is of values range 2, 5, 11, 23 and 47. See, all these values are primes. This is the only 5 steps long primes range which has structural organization of being sequentially of the geometries range. 2 as to space leads to 5 geometries. 5 as 5 space leads to 11 geometries. 11 as the 11th space leads to 23 geometries. 23 as space leads to 47 geometries. One may have a pause here and take note that Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the essence of Vedanta Trey, the essence of Veda, the Vedangas, the essence of Vedanta, Srimad Bhagavad Gita initiates its unfolding with chapter 1, Arjun Vishad Yog, as of the range of chapter 1 of the range of 47 shlokas. Now, this values range further deserve to be glimpsed for their internal coordination. See, the difference of value between 2 and 5 is 3, and it is the 5 to 11 which is of value, then 11 to 23, then 23 to 46. So here the difference is 3, then 5 to 11 the difference is 6, then 11 to 23 the difference is 12, then 23 to 47 the difference is 24. So it is 3, 6, 12, 24. So at each step the gap is having of double range arrangement. So 2 to 5, the difference value 3, 11 to 5, difference value 6, 23 to 11, difference value 12, 47 to 23, the difference value is 24. Now, a step ahead, we can observe that the middle of the pair of values 5 and 11 is 8. The middle of 11 and 23 is 17. And middle placement for 23 and 47 is 35. One can have a pause here and take note that parallel to 8 is 8 space Asht Prakriti. The next step, the value 17. It is the value of Atma, the soul, and value 35 is the value of a Parbrahm. As such, this organization of 5 steps long range 2, 5, 11, 23 and 47 is a transcendental range which from the opposite orientation will sequentially take us to Parbrahm, Atma and to Asht Prakriti. We may have a pause here and take note that if we go to the middle of value of 2 and 5, here there are, in between there are pair of numbers, these are 3 and 4. So the middle placement value here between 2 and 5 will take us to the middle of 3 and 4. So it is at 3.5. And we know that value 3.5 being of the middle because of the half unit will take us to quadruple values 0, half, 1 and 2, and summation value is 3.5. We had seen during the previous session the significance of the quadruple 0, half, 1 and 2 of summation value 3.5. As such, it can be said that this initiation stage of 2 to 5 is the stage which we have covered during our graduation level achievements. The graduation level achievement of the first jump, first bridging will provide us further requirement of triple steps achievement. Therefore, the postgraduate level exposure, comprehension, insight, enlightenment, expectations will be that the transcendental values spreadsheet of Sakal Rigved Samhita be fully comprehended. The mathematical mind enrichment of the postgraduate Vedic mathematics sadhak will be of the order of the values of the richness of the transcendental values spreadsheet. As such, we shall revisit the organization of the Sakal Rigved Samhita. The organization is as mandal, there are 10 mandals, as ashtak, there are 8 ashtaks, as adhyayas, there are 64 adhyayas, as anuvaks, there are 85 anuvaks, as sukts, as vargas, as richas, and as aksharas. Now, there are 10 mandals, but when we visit the formulation mandal itself, see that mandal is the formulation which accepts a TC value 29. And it is this TC value 29 which is the TC value of the Brahma. And Brahma is the forehead lord and is the presiding deity of creators of space, a fourth space. As such, the spreadsheet of the values of Sakal Rigved Samhita is going to be of the order of the formulation mandal of TC value 29 parallel to TC value 29 of formulation Brahma, the overlord of real fourth space, the presiding deity of fourth space, a idol which has format features and values parallel to hypercube 4. A step ahead, the organization, simultaneous organization, the parallel organization is as ashtaks. There are as many as 8 ashtaks. The formulation ashtak is of TC value 13, and this value is equal to the formulation chit, the consciousness. It is here where we will be having a transcendence within creators of space, within force space, where our solids will transit and transform from their static state to a dynamic state. 12-edged cube will acquire additional 13th edge towards the 4th dimension of the setup of hypercube 4. As such, sequentially, when we will be reaching from mandal to ashtak, then we will be entering within a fourth space. So this entry within the fourth space in terms of the 13-edged cube will lead and coordinate the 13th edge with the transcendental origin of a fourth space. It is this feature which will help us appreciate that 5 space as transcendental origin of a fourth space and being of a higher dimensional order than that of the creative domain, as creative domain is only of a spatial order while the transcendental origin is of a solid order. Because of it, there will be a split in the creative domain. So it is this split of the creative domain into a pair of creative domains together with the transcendental origin will make a split range of 4, 5 and 4 equal to value 13. It is this split, it is this consciousness effect which deserves to be comprehended for further enrichment of the mathematical mind. And it is this enrichment which is going to be attained by the postgraduate students of Vedic mathematics. Like that, sequentially, we will be having an exposure during this postgraduate course. And this exposure and this chase will further bring us face to face with that the organization of Sakal Rigved Samhita, the Rigved Samhita as 10 mandals and formulation mandal being of TC value 29 parallel to TCV value of Lord Brahma, and there being 10 mandals, and Lord Brahma meditates within cavity of his own heart at the seat of the transcendental Lord, and with the grace of the transcendental Lord, Lord Brahma multiplies as 10 Brahmas. So the organization format of Sakal Rigved Samhita, the transcendental values of the Sakal Rigved Samhita are sequentially on the unfolding path, like the unfolding enlightenment path of Lord Brahma multiplying as 10 Brahmas. This, along the geometric format, will have a lead for the fourth space as a domain to have a transition for its another role as the creative boundary of 10 components of a transcendental domain. Therefore, the postgraduate sadhakas of Vedic mathematics, in the background of the enrichment of their mathematical mind of the graduation level, along the foundation of the sequential learning, will potentialize him to be parallel with the spreadsheet, the total range of values of the organization of the Rigved. And this enrichment initiation is at the initial stage of the organization of 10 mandals is going to be parallel to the reach of the transition and transformation of Lord Brahma as 10 Brahmas. Along the geometric format, the happening phenomenon is that the creator's space, force space, transits and transforms into its role of the 10 creative components. As such, we will be having a sequential progression, and it is this sequential progression which will help us appreciate that the entire structural setup of our solar universe, with sun as six-space body, as consciousness embodiment center of the transcendental center, the self-referral origin of the transcendental origin of the creator's state, makes it that the organization of Sakal Rigved Samhita is the organization of compactified origins. The whole range of origins are compactified at the seat of the origin of all the domains. 3 space has 4 space as its origin. This 4 space is at the seat of center of 3 space as a domain, and the superimposition of the origin at the seat of the center will make 4 space as origin as a 0 point, as a point body of a force space. Therefore, the entire structural range of the entire spectrum of dimensional spaces gets compactified and superimposed at the same point. Therefore, the single dimension of order n will be a setup of 9 points. So see the interval as a format of a linear axis features is a setup of 9 endpoints. So it is just a placement of endpoints along an interval. The organization of interval will classify it as a pair of endpoints and the remaining domain. Therefore, the endpoints will get classified as pair of endpoints and the balance n minus 2 points. As such, a single dimension of order n will be of the setup as has been indicated here in the sheet. Now, when we will be having a pair of dimensions of order n, that means both will be synthesizing at the origin. Therefore, at the origin, the pair of dimensions as such will be creating a format of 1 cross 1, and the twofold flow along the pair of dimensions as such will be leading to the setup of and 1 cross 1 at the origin and one endpoint for each of the axes as 1 and 1, and the balance in between number of points accommodation is going to be n minus 2 and n minus 2. Now we see the pair of endpoints of the pair of axes which are yet not synthesized will be having a gap amongst them of n minus 2 points to have a complete bridging. It is this feature which will help us appreciate that when there will be a synthesis of the pair of dimensions, it will be leading us to the endpoints contributed by first axis, endpoints contributed by the second axis, and n minus 2 points needed to bridge the synthesis of the pair of endpoints. And so n plus n minus 2 will lead us plus n plus 2. As such, the synthesis of a pair of dimensions of order n will lead to n plus 2 setup. When we will have a third axis, then likewise all the three axes will be having one of their endpoints at the origin itself. So the setup at the origin will be of 1 cross 1 cross 1 cross 1, and all the three axes will be having one endpoint at the other placement which is yet not synthesized. Therefore, we see we will be reaching at value n plus 2 because of the synthesis of the pair of axes. The third axis will contribute value n endpoints, and then the synthesis between the first pair of points and the third point will provide us n minus 2 two times. So it is this value n plus 2 plus n minus 2 into n minus 2 equal to 6. It is this feature which deserves to be comprehended fully to have a complete appreciation of the degree of enrichment for the intelligence field of the postgraduate Vedic mathematics students and scholars is going to be that the synthesis of the triple dimensions of any order will lead to the value 6. It is this feature, it is this value which is ultimately going to provide the needed enlightenment and the needed insight of the solar universe. It is this solar universe which leads us to value 6. And we know 6 is the first perfect number. And we also know 6 is the unique perfect number, as here in value 6, it is not only the summation of the proper divisors 1, 2, and 3, but the multiplication of the proper divisors 1, 2, and 3 is also 6. It is the first perfect number, and it is the unique perfect number, as it is only this feature of summation and product being equal to the value of the perfect number itself available for the perfect number 6. And then we know that value 6 is the value of the sun, a Surya, a formulation. Surya is leading to the transcendence value 6. So it is Surya Ank. It is this feature which will bring these sadhakas face to face with the inherent foundational feature of the solar universe being of the format of hypercube 6. And it is this feature which further will help us appreciate that the Ganita Sutras, which are 16 in number, and Ganita Upsutras, which are 13 in number, together as of value 29, is parallel to the TC value of Mandal as well as of the TC value of Brahma. And the first letter of the first Ganita Sutra is the sixth vowel. These are the features which will unify the comprehension of the students of mathematics reaching the post-graduation level, that the entire universe makes a single discipline. Entire universe can be chased as a single discipline. And once this insight is there, and once this comprehension is there, and once the insight is of this level, then on the basis of it, we can draw, we can reach it, we can work out a tabulation for the dimensional spaces of the entire range of any order, including the zero order and including of the negative orders. So order n may be positive, zero, or negative, and any number of dimensions. So m dimensions of order n will synthesize. It is this synthesis phenomenon of the dimensional spaces. It is this synthesis phenomenon of the dravya, the content, the space content, which will be providing us the necessary needed format for the sciences and technologies. Along this format, the periodic table of the basic elements and the lifespans within and without frames, including of the human beings, will be chaseable. And it is this chase for which the sadhakas perfect themselves of the degree of the post-graduation level. A step ahead, the sadhakas will be potentializing themselves to be parallel with the way, the jyoti, is manifesting at the orb of the sun as a seat of a Brahm. It is this Jyoti manifestation at orb of the sun as a Vishnu Lok, as a sixth space, will be having a sequential flow as a Divya Ganga Pravaha along the Sthapatya miring rod, and it will reach core of the earth, which is a transcendental seat origin. So core of the earth as force space, as creator space of transcendental origin is the reach. Therefore, the postgraduate mathematical mind will be of potentialities to have anusandhan, a research as to the Jyoti manifestation flow from orb of the sun to core of the earth and back. It is this transcendental phenomenon which inherently becomes a self-referral phenomenon, and entire thing will be that we will be reaching per Brahm value 35 as of a parallel to the grid 5 cross 7, which accommodates all the 30 points, 35 points of 6 value system. So all 35 double digit numbers of 6 place value system will get accommodated, and the value 36, a 6 square, will transcend the grid, and it is this value 36 which is the value of a paranava, and tasya vachka parana, om, soul syllable om, thy synonym is paranava, and paranava sarvadeshu, the entire Vedic domain is the expression of paranava. And from the formulation paranava, as is depicted here, it will be clear that there are 4 different ways of flow of the energies for swapping the space. So it is like conduction, radiation, convection, and the connected pair of spheres, pulleys. So the sadhakas shall be, while being through the postgraduate Vedic mathematics exposure parallel to the transcendental values spreadsheet of Rigved, Satta, will be of potentials to go for research. In this session, we reach up till this stage. We will discuss, analyze, and ultimately have our firm view about it. And in the next session, our focus will remain upon the phase and stage from which Maharishi Vedvyas had taken over for organization of Vedic knowledge as Vedas, and this organization having been repeated 28 times. So it will be a reach from the first perfect number to the second perfect number 28, and there are 28 transcendental designations of Maharishi Vedvyas. So in the next session, we will be having a conclusive deliberative session of Vedic mathematics syllabus, and the aspect to be considered will be of the research phase and stage exposure in an institutionalized way for the sadhakas of Vedic mathematics. Thank you very much.